Hi everyone. Welcome to enjoy a quite interesting lecture with many practical cases. The third part is the case analysis of China's county development strategy. 5 counties will be discussed to help you better understand the new structural county development strategy. Each of these cases is unique in its own way. Among them, Jinjiang, Fujian, is a hometown of millions of overseas Chinese. They make great efforts to support their hometown's development and has established a Jinjiang model, while Guanling, Guizhou, is a typical representative that exerts its comparative advantage of factor endowments to the extreme. Qianyang, Shan'anxi. This case is all about the government and sweet apples. Very interesting and enlightening. Changzhi, Shanxi is an exemplary from being resource-cursed to resource-blessed. The last is Hotan, Xinjiang, an oasis area. How to develop the oasis area is a world-class tricky issue, but the oasis economic development in Hotan area, promoted by Professor Lin Yifu, has, however, achieved great success. First, regarding Jinjiang, Fujian Province. Maybe some of you have heard it before. It's a county-level city under the jurisdiction of Fujian, managed by Quanzhou Prefecture-level city. It is the core of the southern triangle of Fujian, owning the strongest comprehensive strength among all the cities and counties in Fujian. Its economic strength has ranked first in Fujian for 17 consecutive years, and in 2017, it ranked number 5 on the list of top 100 counties in China. There's a Chinese joke about the 2018 World Cup. We made fun of our Chinese national football, which once again failed to enter the game by saying that all Chinese brands can possibly be in the World Cup are there, except for the team. Among them, there are many Jinjiang brands. Frequently appear in various international competitions, ANTA, 361 degrees, X-Step, and so on. Jinjiang not only gathers many well-known sports brands, but also owns 50,000 private enterprises and 46 listed companies. The number of listed companies is the largest among all counties in China. Manufacturing brands such as the menswear brand 7, K-Boxing, Septwolves, and Pan Pan Foods, Hong'an Group, etc. These are all Jinjiang brands known by almost everyone in China. However, before the reform and opening up, Jinjiang was a harsh area with fewer people and more mountains. Some families even filled their stomachs with sweet potatoes just to get by. Such a barren agricultural county somehow managed to create 1/16 of the GDP of the whole province. With only 1/200th of the land in Fujian province in 2017, just 40 years later, transforming from a poor county in need of state support. It became the bellwether in the county's economic development. In the early days of reform and opening up, Jinjiang fully exploited advantages based on its endowments, which are idle properties owned by overseas Chinese, available capital and surplus labor to start township and village enterprises by adopting a shareholding cooperative system. With the opening up to the outside world, Jinjiang attracted foreign investment to establish 3 types of enterprises, namely Sino-Foreign Joint Ventures, Sino-Foreign Cooperative Ventures, and wholly foreign-owned enterprises. From 1996 to 2002, Xi Jinping Then the governor of Fujian province conducted 7 in-depth research and investigations in Jinjiang after thinking deeply about the Jinjiang experience. He wrote articles on Jinjiang experience, which were published on People's Daily on August 20, 2002, and Fujian Daily on October 4, 2002. The Jinjiang model, summarized and proposed by Xi, is an economic development path that is based on market and export-oriented economy, mainly adopting a shareholding cooperation system and develop multiple economic components together. Xi Jinping pointed out that the success of Jinjiang has brought us 6 inspirations. First is to always adhere to the development of social productive forces as the fundamental direction of reform and development. The second is to always adhere to market-oriented development of the economy. The third is to persist in overcoming difficulties and win with tenacious spirit. The fourth is to consistently promote the healthy development of the market economy with honesty and integrity. Fifth, always insist on selecting the most appropriate way to accelerate economic development based on local advantages. Sixth, always insist on strengthening the government's guidance and services for the development of the market economy. Therefore, the answer given by the Jinjiang experience is exploit local advantages with the spirit of hard work and integrity, and let the government provide guidance and services in the market economy environment. This is consistent with the theoretical thinking and practical logic of new structural economics. In fact, in the traditional wisdom of the Chinese nation, the good timing, development opportunities, advantages of geography, local endowment, and harmony of man, hard work, frequently mentioned have already summed up very accurately and concisely the development theory advocated by new structural economics. At this stage, the industrial structure of Jinjiang is dominated by secondary industry, followed by service industry. Then comes agriculture, which shares the least proportion in the industrial structure. As far as Jinjiang's endowments are concerned, in terms of development strategy, in 2017, Jinjiang's per capita GDP was 94.47 million yuan, accounting for 114.39%, between 80% and 120% of Fujian province, and 158.35% of the country. Judging from the stage of development, Jinjiang is at an intermediate level, M. In terms of strategic scale, in 2017, Jinjiang's regional GDP was 198.15 billion yuan, more than 100 billion yuan and less than 300 billion yuan, accounting for 6.1% of Anhui province's regional GDP, and accounting 0.24% for the national regional. Judging from the type of strategic scale it is in, the regional GDP of Jinjiang is of the medium volume M type. That is, Jinjiang is at a medium level development stage and a medium volume MM development strategy stage, given its economic volume. However, at this stage, Jinjiang has too much light industry, but heavy industry and technology-intensive industry are less developed. In the future, Jinjiang should shift from labor-intensive industry development strategy to capital-intensive and human capital-intensive industry development strategies, and vigorously develop emerging comparative advantage-defying strategic industries, such as high-end equipment machinery, new materials, and marine life. It should also actively integrate into the strategic layout of the construction of the Belt and Road Initiative and Quanzhou Haisi Maritime Silk Road Pilot Zone, so as to develop a deeply integrated and mutually beneficial cooperation pattern and a higher level of open economy. Jinjiang should renovate and upgrade traditional industries like textile and apparel, footwear, food and beverage, ceramics for building, paper products and packaging, and printing industries, comparative advantage losing industries. Nurture and develop emerging industries, new materials, photovoltaic electronics, smart equipment and machinery manufacturing, automobile manufacturing and parts industry, catching up industry. In the future, the Jinjiang model will continue its glory and share more experiences with us. Secondly, regarding Guanling in Guizhou, I guess not many of you have heard it before. It's located in the central part of Guizhou province and belongs to Anshun City. It is located on the slope of the south of the ridge slope in the east of the Yunnan-Guizhou Plateau, which is slanting towards hills in Guangxi. From the analysis of the development stage and strategic type of Guanling County, it can be seen that it adopts the MS development strategy. But Guanling is famous for its elevation economics, an industry that differs in characteristics based on altitude, a typical factor endowment. The so-called elevation economics of Guanling is to divide the altitude into 3 zones, with a low altitude zone below 800 meters, a middle altitude zone between 800 and 1,200 meters, and a high altitude zone above 1,200 meters. After fully studying the soil and climate of each altitude, a scientific industrial layout through a comparative analysis is formed. The low altitude zone is mainly planted with high-quality fruits and vegetables, such as dragon fruits, sweet honey plums, early ripe vegetables, etc. In the mid-altitude zone, locals mainly cultivate medicinal materials, feed crops that replace the grain crops, and grow sweet corns, the upstream raw material of the cattle industry. And high-altitude zone is a major area for planting Chinese medicinal materials and raising cattle. In terms of tactics, 3 aspects of work has been done. First, regional planning policy. The regional cooperation and development strategies proposed by the state, such as the Belt and Road Initiative, the Yangtze River Economic Belt, and the Pearl River West River Economic Belt, which has brought new opportunities for Guanling County to accelerate integration into regional development and strive for more natural projects and investments. Second is the Industrial Chain Initiatives, focusing on Food and Medicine Park of Guanling Industrial Zone. It attaches great importance to creating green food and new pharmaceutical industries. Guanling adopted the development of point-style layout around the industrial park to develop green food and new medicine deep processing industries in Guangzhou, Longtan, and Huajiang, and set up special seed breeding bases in other towns to provide raw materials for processing and form an industrial chain. Third is the planning of the regional internal layout, combining the unique resource advantages of Guanling County, and in accordance with the overall thinking of integration of urban and rural planning, integration of industrial layout, integration of infrastructure construction, and integration of public services. The local government strives to build Guanling into a small-sized town that is innovative and open, livable and tourist-friendly, a place with beautiful natural views, abundant historical relics, and profound cultural essence.